Yo, what's going on, guys? DJS here. Got an achievement guide for the Mind games, and this is the Easter egg for the buried map pack. This is the Maxis side version, and big shout out to Yoda Slayer, Resortified, and I'm just Chucky for helping complete this with myself and making this video possible. But first things first, you need to go ahead and start from the beginning. You have to build Maxis' Noose. So there's a whole bunch of things that you have to build. I'm assuming you guys know how to build these things. If you don't, here's a couple examples. There's the part 1 is by the Vulture Perk. Part 2 is upstairs across the barn. Part 3 is to the left of the chalk room. And the last part is in the barn stall. And it's just one of the stalls towards the back. Once you have all 4 of those, then the noose will be built. And then you can go ahead and start on the next part, which you will need the turbine and the subsonic, or the sub, whatever the hell, subwoofer, in order to make that happen. So I've shown you right here to build a turbine, and I'll show you these crystal locations right here in just a second. But you need the turbine, and then the other thing as well. There is tutorials in the description on how to make all of those parts, because I don't want to take too much time showing that. But this is it. The subsurface resonator is the other part that you need to get, and you need to grab all the parts. Now, all the parts for these, like both of those items, are all in this building right here. You just upstairs and downstairs in that building, all of the parts are in there. The other thing you can do is just a little tip. You can feed the giant candy near the buildable bench, and he'll actually build the item for you, which is crazy. I did a tutorial on that as well. Check my description in the playlist. The playlist in the description for all of those. But right here you can see I got the subsonic resonator, and you need this thing, and then you have to have the fan down also next to the subsonic resonator. So I'm going to show you guys. I put down the subsonic right here, and then I'm going to go back over and place this guy right here, and it will power the thing, and it will actually blow air and blow up the crystal. After you end up blowing up that crystal, that was one location. There's 4 locations for these crystals. Crystal balls total, and you have to blow up all 4 of them. You do not need the wonder weapon. You don't need the wonder weapon to power the orb or anything like that. From what I understand, that is just on the Richtofen side. That was the second orb that you just saw back there. This one is upstairs from the saloon. There's the railway right here, and if you go up here and then left and then a quick right, you'll see that this is the third one right here. And so obviously, again, you cannot do this solo. This is just me trying to do it solo, and the last, very last step you won't be able to do without other people. But the last crystal is in the very back of the map area, and you can see it's right here on the right hand side. And you just go ahead and blow up that crystal as well. Once you get all 4 of those crystals, you're ready to move to the next step, which is coming back to the main area near the saloon and this the sheriff's area. You'll see a floating lantern. You need to cook a grenade and throw it at the lantern, and Yoda Slayer ended up getting it right there. He ended up picking it up. So he has the lantern now, and after you have the lantern, you have to go ahead and grab some candy. Now, if you don't have any candy left in you, you can buy some from the register. But you need to feed the beast, the giant guy. You can see he's just attacking the zombies. You need to have the guy believe that has a lantern near, so it like collects the souls or whatever it's supposed to do of the zombies that that he's hitting. Once you do this enough, it took us a couple rounds actually, because I don't know if we were doing it right, but once you do this enough, you can see right up on top of the gunsmith, it's glitching back up there, but you'll be able to go up top. And right here, I'm going to show you guys. I'm jumping across. Once you have enough of the souls, the lantern will appear. Alright, so now comes the hard part. Once you place the lantern down, you have to decipher the code. Now, I have a cheat sheet here that will help you guys, but this code is kind of hard to recognize. And basically, there's 5 different lines of this gibberish. This is 3 of the 5. They represent the 5 signs in the mine shaft. You basically have to punch them in order from top to bottom with the galvaknuckles or the bowie knife, but you have to determine which one is at the top and the bottom. So here's a little cheat sheet for you guys. Number 1 is the very top line, and that's dry gulcher. Number 2 is a lunger. Number 3 is ground bitters or biter, and number 4 is consumption cross. I don't know what the bone orchard one looks like, but you need to punch them one after another in order. And you'll notice right here, I did a separate video, maybe that explains this more. But you can see right here, ground bitters was the first one on our list, and then I'm going to go down and punch the lunger one, and then the last one is right up over here. And again, you have to do these 3. Now, you have to do this in order, and then when you do this, you'll begin the next part of the Easter egg, which is kind of difficult. You need to have people running kind of trains down in the lower areas, and you'll see where in just a second here. Also, it should be noted you need to have the time machine equipment before you start this part, and the person that has the time machine equipment has to have it thrown down, because you have to do this twice. Yeah, it's kind of a pain, but you have to do this twice. Now, basically you release the wisp and you're going to go ahead and follow it down. It does change places sometimes. It goes through the sheriff's area. This time it's going to go through the barn, but whatever way it chooses the path, it will stay that path for the remainder of the game. It just, different games have different paths. So the first thing is you see the barn. Vertical was in the barn, and he had them trained up there, luckily, and they were able to energize this little wisp. Now we got to follow this thing up. You also have to have this area unlocked. This path right here needed to be unblocked. Otherwise it wouldn't have fallen through. And then he needs to drop down here in front of the saloon. And the person, this is a huge tip, the person that released the wisp, which was myself, has to follow it along, otherwise it will die. Right here was the barrier as well. You have to have that barrier knocked down, otherwise this will not work as well. And then you go ahead and you can see it fill the container with the wisp part. So now you actually have to use the time machine. The person that threw it down pushes a button that goes back in time, and then you have to do that same exact thing again. And it is in the exact same order, since you did everything already. Now you can see that the second container is filled up, because with time machine you went back in time, but the first container still remained filled. Now the second container was filled. This next part is the bell part, and this is really difficult. You need to have one person in this area right here, and you have to pull the lever to start the bell puzzle, and basically one person has to be in this room coordinating the entire time. So if you have a lot of money, put it in the bank before you start this, because you're going to be hit by this chick no matter where you are on the map. But in order to do this belt puzzle thing, basically you have to have one person in the courtroom, the candy shop, and the barn. And so the person that is in the mansion area will tell you which part of the board is lit up at any time. If it's white 2, that means the candy shop needs to push number 2. Then if the next one is courtroom 3, then the person has to push whatever the button is in the courtroom that's number 3. And I'll show you the order of those 3. I believe it's the same every single time of the 3 bells, but if it's not, you're going to have to do some trial and error and a lot of communication between you, all 4 of you guys, in order to make this happen. But you can see right here, also it really makes a big difference to have the big giant guy hold the crawler in order to do this. So you can see that this is bell number 1 on the chair. This is above the candy shop. Bell number 2 is on the table. And then bell number 3 is back to the right, back right there where he just went. So that was a 3, and that's the order 1, 2, and 3 from that area. Then you need to go in the courtroom. I think that this one is on the left over there is 1, and then this one is 2 in the back, and then number 3 is right over here. Wait. 1, 2, so it was the back. I'm sorry, it was the back of the room was 1, 2, and then 3 was the last one, I believe. You might have to do trial and error, and I apologize. Vertical is showing us this one. So there was the one right there, and this one is number 2, and then number 3 is right over here next to the bale of hay. And that's the order that I had. So once you place them all in the order, it takes a couple tries, and you have to do it pretty quickly, one after another. Otherwise, it won't actually register, and you'll have to start it over again. If you make a mess, or a mistake, I mean, then you'll have to start it over again as well. But you're really close to the end of the Easter egg, so it's worth sticking it out. That part, once you do that, you'll hear a chime. Then you can come over to the fountain area in the middle, in front of the mansion, and you can make a wish. This is the last step, and it is a real pain in the ass. You have to have 4 people do this. You need to have one person in the sheriff's area, the candy shop, the saloon, and the mansion. Once you go ahead and make a wish, and you can do this as many times as you want. It's not a one-shot try. It took us literally an hour to do this, and you have to make sure you hit every single one of these things. And I'm showing you guys the version right in front of the candy shop of where they all appear. You can use the PDW. Everybody says use the PDW from what I've seen, but you can use other guns. It's just this one's an easy one to use, and it has a lot of bullets in the clip. The other thing is you should definitely buy Speed Cola, because you can reload a lot faster, and it will help you with this part. The hardest one out of all of these we found was the mansion, I believe. There was definitely like the most action towards the mansion. So you really have to make sure everybody that's doing this knows exactly where all of the ones are for their area. So just give you guys a heads up on that. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the Easter egg. Once you do this part and you get it all correct, you will get all 7 perks, and you do get the achievement unlocked, as you can see right there, Mind Games. If this video was helpful for you guys, please subscribe to my channel. Please leave a comment. Let me know this video actually helped you complete the Easter egg. and or give the video a thumbs up. I always love the support on the videos. And again, big shout out to the people that helped me do this. Yodu Slayer is awesome. I'm just Chucky and Resortified. It was a lot of fun doing the Easter egg, and I'm glad we were able to complete it. And hopefully you found this tutorial helpful. And check in the playlist in the description. Tons more videos. I have over 30 videos for Buried for you guys, beginners and intermediate. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.